Like you have a new outfielder coming into camp soon. What do you expect him to bring?
Yeah, so we got Tim Locastro here. I just got through talking to Tim, and he's getting his physical, and we'll get on the field today, get some live at bats, and get some work tomorrow, and likely be in there on Friday in one of the split squad games. Guys got some time in the league. Seen him play against us. Really good skill set, plus runner. Plays the game, knows how to play the game. So we're adding to the mix. Excited to have him.
Can you characterize the outfield competition? Just send a couple down to minor league camp today.
Right.
There's a couple of weeks left to figure this out.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, the good news is there is a competition. Guys are, as we expected, taking advantage of the opportunities. Guys are playing really well. Guys are doing the little things that we appreciate that leads us to winning ball games. So it's exciting, isn't it?
What'd you like from you in his start yesterday?
Man, I was really pleased with you. I know he was tickled. He's been working on the backfields on some things, and everything was coming out really clean, crisp, late movement, great spin. Just in control of all his pitches. It was a really, really solid first outing for you.
How do you view you based on off what he did last year, going into the latter half of this contract that he has?
Right. If I'm understanding it correctly, the way I view you as a experienced professional front of the rotation pitcher that has had a really good offseason, feels good, recovering well, and is looking forward to getting the season started.
Is the guy who's going to pitch into his 40s, is that maybe the prototype guy?
It is. It's a good point because you is the prototype guy to be able to pitch into his 40s. It's a guy that very conscientious for years about taking care of his body, taking care of how he goes about. He's very routine oriented, very disciplined with what he does, and guys that are disciplined early in their careers have the best chance of having success later in their careers.
What did you see of Oscar's at bats yesterday, and Ozokar? How those guys look to you?
They look fantastic. Listen, Mercado, loud noises, right? He's good swings, good approach, aggressive, just playing his game, taking a good at bat. Clearly the homers are great. He's in there today. Azakar's had a really nice camp, using the whole field. Loved the walk yesterday. We don't want to walk just to walk, but we want to make sure we're controlling the strike zone. That's one thing that we talked about with all our guys, but Sugar in particular, of making sure he controls the zone, take what the game gives you. So he's able to work his walk, which was fantastic. He's driven the ball all over the field. And also I love the fact, he showed his bunt game yesterday. He didn't execute it, but it's a perfect situation. It's a 4-run game late. You try to push it against the lefty, and I love the fact he's working on it.
When it comes to Jackson Merrill playing left field, potentially playing center field, how much will the player's input go into deciding where he might play versus maybe the needs you have roster-wise?
There's some input there. You got to serve two different things there. You got the need, and you got the player's comfort level. So, anytime you move positions, there may be some more, apprehension than about what that looks like. Jackson has not expressed a ton of apprehension in playing left or center. Obviously, weigh in and make sure the athlete feels comfortable. But we also recognize that we have to fulfill our needs and balance the two.
If he proves he can really handle center, what would that maybe do for the roster?
Yeah, listen, we win through the middle of the field. That's where a lot of games are won. And if we got a guy that can play center field and lock that position down, it clearly makes our club stronger, and it opens up, opportunities in other places. So, center field's a premier spot on the field, and if he can play it and play it well, then it clearly makes our club better.
Mike, you guys are still kind of evaluating what you are as a roster and as a team. In your experience, how long does it usually take to kind of figure out a team what that identity is going to be for?
That's a really good question. We talked about and used the word identity a lot this spring training, internally, externally. Thing about identity is you find out how strong your identity is relative to the challenges that we face. And so we are always working on strengthening and deepening our identity where it's just the fabric of who we are, and is really ultimately we normalize the excellence of our identity. So there's no particular time frame on it. The good news is, because it's ongoing, it continues to evolve. It's not like we got it. because as soon as you think you're ripe, you're rotten. Okay, that's the next phase of this deal. So getting this group, which they have been very participatory in their group, meaning the players, the staff, everybody. What's the identity? What's it look like? Sharing thoughts about it, making sure everybody's feeling good about working towards the same end goal, same mission, and then continue to strengthen it. So I'm pleased with where we are with establishing the identity in camp. It's probably the thing I'm most pleased with overall, but it's a daily process to continue to not only enforce it where the stages we're at, but also reinforce it as we move forward.
Have you had much experience with the knuckleballer? Have you managed him? Or?
We tried a couple guys in my past to work on it. I'm just really thankful I don't have to hit it or even come close. And I applaud the catchers for the work of catching it. But yeah, Waldron's got a really good one, and it's a big weapon for him.
That's something nobody else has. How does that impact your decision to maybe keep him in the rotation or usage, that sort of thing?
It's good he's got it. It's a different look, which we always like with our staff. The bullpen, the starters, different looks, righty, lefty, that always is a benefit. But ultimately, the thing that matters the most about our pitchers is who gets outs. I don't care what you do. Just get them out. However you get it done.
Do you have a Matsui update?
We're going to get his ball in his hand probably tomorrow or the following day. He's progressing to a good place, less inflammation, more movement, and again, we're hopeful he gets the ball in his hand, starts to play some catch, and works towards getting back on the mound.
With Brett Sullivan, obviously does a lot of catching, but he has played in other places, and obviously somebody who's been in the organization for a while. How do you view this opportunity for him maybe to get out of catching and kind of contribute in some different ways, potentially as a lefty bat in particular?
Yeah, there's a lot of different things that Brett can do, and we're trying to provide as many opportunities for Brett. We got him in a first yesterday. He's going to shag a little bit, continue to take some ground balls. He's going to catch in the game, as well, clearly. And there's just that balancing point of being able to get games. And we recognize there's a lot of people that are looking for opportunities and at-bats and time on the field. So doing my best to make sure we're making that happen consistently. But, it's nice that Brett has a skill set that can help us from the left side. He can run, play multiple positions, so we'll give him an opportunity to continue to showcase his talent.